Hi, today's tutorial is for this cozy countryside house / farmhouse. I am a great fan of these types of houses both in real life and in Minecraft. I was inspired to build it from a picture I found somewhere but lost the link. If you happen to stumble upon an image of a house similar to this one, please let me know so I can acknowledge the artist who inspired me. You can use it as a starter house as most materials are easy to get. In any case, I provide alternatives for some materials, like the warped items I used on doors and window shutters and the mushroom stems I used for the walls. You can also use it to improve your world. This house is pretty, both on the outside and inside. You can turn this house into a full-size farm as I did on the server I play on. This tutorial is divided into parts to make it easy to understand how it is built. I recommend you watch the entire video before building the house in your world. This way, you can see the different options I present for how to make it and which materials to use. As for the material list, I provide a file with the required materials for each part of the house, including the alternatives I discussed in the video. The link to the file is in the description. Let's start with the space requirements. I divided the house into 4 parts: the main house, the entrance, the balcony, and the workshop. The central part of the house has 2 floors. The first floor has a kitchen and table. The second floor has a bedroom. For the first floor flooring, we can start with something simple: stone bricks. I like to think the house is old. To work this idea, you can replace some blocks with cracked stone bricks and polished andesite. You can stop here, for sure, but for some reason that I can't explain, I like to use dead brain coral on it. It's always your choice. The external walls are 10 blocks tall. You can use any blocks you prefer, but I like mushroom stem. If you want to keep it white but do not have the patience to harvest the stem, there are other options: calcite, diorite, or the new blocks from the Pale Garden update. A detail that can make a difference in this house is changing the material used on the corners of the walls. You can keep it simple using just stone bricks. If you want to give the walls more charm, you may add a mix of darker blocks at the bottom, forming a gradient to the lighter color of stone bricks. I like to use Deepslate Tiles, Polished Deepslate, Tuff and Tuff Bricks. You can also add some cracked stone bricks to give the feeling this is an old building. I suggest adding a few blocks here and there on the walls: stone bricks, cracked stone bricks and polished andesite. You don't have to do that, but I like the effect. To finish, we need the space for the doors and windows. The front door will occupy a space of 4 blocks by 3 blocks tall. The front side of the house has 2 windows on the second floor. They are 2 blocks tall. On the house's balcony side, we will add 2 windows 2 blocks tall to the right side and a door to the left side. This door will give access to the balcony. On the back side of the house, we will add 4 windows 2 blocks tall, 2 on the first floor and 2 on the second. The side of the workshop will have 3 windows on the second floor level. The left and right windows are 2 blocks tall and the middle one is 1 block tall. For the second floor flooring, we start by adding 3 wooden beams. I am using simple spruce logs, but you can use another type of wood or maybe stripped variants. We fill these spaces with slabs, leaving an opening to the stairs. I am using spruce because it matches the color of the spruce log, but it's lighter, giving some contrast. This creates a pleasant pattern on the floor. It also looks nice when you see it from the kitchen. We use spruce for the stairs and finish the area with a spruce trapdoor on the opposite side of the stairs. This trapdoor allows us to reduce the stairs opening, creating more space in the room. We could use a slab, but then we would have to crouch to pass. Let's take care of the entrance. It covers an area of 4 by 4. Start with a small wall, 2 blocks tall, on each side of the entrance. Fill the space between the small walls with blocks. Finish with 4 stairs. Again, the blocks you use are your decision. You can keep it simple like this or apply a texture. Building the balcony is very easy. Add 4 columns, 5 blocks tall, 3 blocks apart. The balcony door should be in the middle of the side closest to the house wall. Connect the columns at the top, except for the space between the columns close to the house wall. The middle block between each column is a slab. Add 2 stone bricks walls between each pair of columns. Again, except for the columns close to the wall. The walls and the slab will form an arch. You can use stairs instead, but I think they are great this way. Add spruce slabs, top side, to make the flooring. You can keep the columns simple or add variety with a texture, as we did on the house walls and the entrance. The workshop is meant to be a more rustic part of the house, so we will use stone blocks. The walls are 4 blocks tall. The door is on the front side of the house and is 3 blocks tall, at the same level as the ground outside. This means the flooring will have to be dug out. As with everything else, you can keep the floor simple or add texture. I did like the kitchen. The same thing for the walls. Now we move to the rooftops. You probably noticed the roofs are made of brick and dark oak slabs. You can use other materials, of course. For the workshop's rooftop, place a few brick slabs on top of the lateral wall. We can now pull the brick lines from the house's wall. We finish by adding the border. The house's rooftop is similar, but it has some extra details. First thing, we need to add the ceiling. It is similar to the flooring on the second floor, but this time we add the beams starting from the sides. Now, extend the lateral walls of the house. Add brick slabs to shape them like stairs. On the front and back of the house, add 3 brick slabs. They go on the bottom side of the topmost row. The middle slab must be placed at the corner, making one of them extend outside of the house wall. Add a spruce slab below the middle brick. You can now add the rest of the slabs and finish the roof and the roof border. There are 2 things we still have to do: the exterior decoration and the interior. Let's start with the windows. I used light blue stained glass. Feel free to use whatever one you prefer. I am using a texture pack for the glass because, let's be honest, Stained Minecraft glass is absolutely boring and ugly. I like the idea of having shutters on the windows. On the front and back of the house, I added shutters on each side of the windows and on the lateral walls just on one side. The small window on the second floor does not have shutters. The balcony door is simple. The workshop door has a trapdoor on top, and the front door is more elaborate. First, let's make an arch. Then we go inside the house and add the doors and more trapdoors. I used warped wood, but you can use anything you want. Pretty much anything colorful or darker will fit well with the white walls. Let's add some light. Every countryside house needs a pathway from the main door to the property's points of interest. In our case, those are the workshop and the space under the balcony. I will make it of dirt path, but use other blocks to create an interesting pattern. And some plants. I use a texture pack for the flowers, but your building will look good without it. And a bell. Add fences and fence gates to protect against falls when we are on the balcony. On the corner, if you want, add a decorated pot or a composter and use Azalea Leaves to add overgrown vegetation to the balcony. A detail I usually find in images of countryside and fantasy houses is the presence of vines. You can add them as well, and they will improve the aspect of the house. The kitchen is simple. Add some storage under the stairs. We also need a countertop with a crafting table, smoker, furnace, and some more storage space. I think every countryside house has to have a fireplace, so we add one. I added a table in the house I built on the server I play on, but that is optional. Don't forget to add some light. On the second floor, we find the bedroom. We have some storage, a crafting table, and a working table using a lectern. On this wall, we will have a shelf hanging with chains. On the opposite wall, we have a small table and a painting. Finally, in the corner of the room, we have the bed and the bedside tables. I use candles to add light to the room. You may use lanterns or torches if you prefer. We finish by adding some trapdoors around the stairs. To achieve a busy look outside the workshop, let's add a few blocks that make sense on a farm. Watermelons, hay bales, some extinguished fireplaces, and barrels. Going inside, we will need a light, a couple furnaces, a crafting table, a smithing table, a cauldron, and a grindstone. Let's add a shelf, some storage, a couple workbenches, and some more storage. Because this is kind of a farmhouse, I thought about adding a bone meal machine. The bone meal machine is just a chest on top of a hopper, on top of a composter, on top of another hopper that is connected to the output chest. Finish adding one more shelf on this wall and another lantern. We could finish now, but I want to talk to you about two more decorations you can use. The first is the player head. There are thousands of different player heads available to decorate your worlds. In Java, there are mods like HeadIndex to help you with that. I am not sure if there is any plugin available in Bedrock. If you know about any plugin, let me know in the comments. In any case, you can always use a command block. The second is this. I want to have tools hanging on the walls. To do that in Java, you can use the Statues data pack. It allows you to turn an armor stand into a tool rack using a tripwire. And now we can hang our tools. And that's it. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial and the ideas. Even if you don't want to build the house, I hope the video was useful and you got inspired by it. If you have questions or comments, leave them in the comment section. Remember to like the video. I'll appreciate it. See you in the next one. Bye bye!